Did you find VFA on your own or did it find you? What was that connection? Just curious, because I've worked in companies where we've recruited VFA fellows and have had lots of success from it. What was your intro to it?
It was my mentor from my investment bank who was actually on the board of Venture for America, and through talking with him, was the one who suggested, "Perhaps you should actually look at this direction. I hear what the problems that you're encountering. This could be a great path forward for you."
So was VFA the introduction to, I think it was Votem was the first founding role you've had with a startup company.
Yeah, Venture for America was both my path to Votem and to Cleveland overall, where I had really no ties prior, familially or otherwise.
How did you get in the actual, how did you help co-found that business?
The short of it is that Votem, like many startups, didn't ultimately make it. In the aftermath of winding down what I had spent the last 3 years working on prior, I did a bit of soul searching and trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And it didn't quite this time feel like a crisis in that I had come to understand that I loved the company building process through which my time at Votem, we had gone from 0 to 70 people and a few different life cycle stages of the company, from really no product existing to out there in the wild, production environments, working with secretaries of state as our customers in solving what to me were very important and fulfilling problems to work on. Coming out of it, I didn't have an idea though of what I wanted to build. Other than that, I wanted to build something. And so what I did over the course of that summer, and this was in 2019, was I actually set out to meet as many local founders and CEOs in Cleveland as I possibly could, to get a sense for who they were as people, what motivated them, what inspired them to go and work on whatever set of problems they were trying to solve, and some of the tactics of the company building process that they had gone through. Ultimately, from there, to explore the possibility of working with any of them in a more formal capacity. And that was really the origin of both the podcasts that I ended up doing, and we could talk about that. But one of the founders that I had met through that exercise was Charlie Lougheed, who had really become, at that point, a very successful entrepreneur who had just exited his last company, a company called Exploris here in Cleveland,
Mhm.
which he had sold to IBM, became the Watson Health platform, and found himself at a similar liminal state of exploration and trying to figure out what he wanted to work on next. Lucky, who was my partner and head of engineering at Votem before, the three of us had joined forces at that point in time over that summer when we were all trying to figure out what to do next. And ultimately, Axuall came out of a series of conversations that were had with the chief medical officers that Charlie had worked with prior at Exploris, and asking them very simply, actually, what problem they wanted us to solve. And a sufficient number of them mentioned credentialing and privileging, which we didn't have a real grasp or understanding of what that actually meant. But that was the direction that Axuall set off in trying to build a company around.